Hello, my name is Campbell. I teach at the University of Tampa, and today we're going to be working on our B-flat scale together. Now, just a reminder, I'm playing on a trigger trombone, so you're going to see me using F trigger slide positions as I play the scales, but if you don't have an F trigger, that's okay. I'm going to show you your slide positions as well. So just like your scales sheet and the name suggests, we start on first position, B-flat. Then if you don't have a trigger, you're going to go to sixth position for C. If you do have a trigger, go ahead and use trigger in first position for the C. Then we're going to move to D in fourth position, E flat in third position, F in first position, though for me, for F, I don't go all the way in. I go just a little bit out just because it tends to be a little sharp. G in fourth position, A natural in second position, and B flat in first position. So I'm going to set my metronome to 60. I'm going to give you 4 beats, and we're going to try playing up the scale in whole notes. Great, so now that we can go up, let's work on coming down. Starts on that top B flat in first position, just like we left off on. Second position, A natural. Fourth position, G. F in first position. E flat in third position. D in fourth position. And then if you have a trigger, we're going to go to trigger 1. If you don't have a trigger, we're going to go out to 6. And then first position, B flat to land on. So let's work on coming down the scale the same way we went up the scale. Great, so now that we can go both up and down the scale, let's work on adding the arpeggio to the end of the scale. Now the arpeggio is just going and outlining the major triad, or the first, third, fifth, and then the octave of the first note in the scale. So we're going to start with the first position B natural, then move to the fourth position D, first position F, and then first position B flat. Let's work on playing this in whole notes now, just like we did the scales earlier. So now that we can go up, let's work on coming down the arpeggio. So we're going to start on that B flat and then move to the F. Both of those are in first position. Then you're going to go to fourth position D and then land on first position B flat. So let's work on coming down the arpeggio just in the same way that we went up it. Awesome, so now that you can go both up and down the scale and up and down the arpeggio, let's work on creating the AllState pattern. Now the AllState pattern is just combining the scale and the arpeggio together and playing them back to back in a rhythmic pattern of half note, then quarter notes up, half note, quarter notes down, land on a half note, quarter notes up the arpeggio, half note, quarter notes down the arpeggio. When we go up, we're going to want to articulate, and when we come down, we're going to want to slur, and that goes for both the scale and the arpeggio. Now, before we get to playing it, let's work on singing the scale in the AllState pattern just to kind of get used to how it works out. And let's move our slide around while we sing to get used to the positions we're going to be using as well. So just like we did earlier, metronome's still at 60, and we're going to be going at half note and quarter notes, singing the AllState pattern. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, A, G, F, E flat, D, C, B flat, D, F, B flat, F, D, B flat. Great, so now that we have gotten used to singing it and moving our slide positions around while singing it, let's try playing it now. Quarter note equals 60, AllState pattern. Now, I'm sure you notice that going from the B flat to the F in the arpeggio is both first position, so you could naturally slur it. And I would suggest, if it doesn't mess you up too much, to try to naturally slur it. However, if it does mess you up and you're having a problem with consistency, there's no problem with doing your legato tongue, going from the open positions or the same positions in scales. There's no problem doing that just for the consistency of sound, especially if it's not going to mess you up to do that. So my preference is to naturally slur the B flat down to the F because they're both in first position. But if it doesn't work out really well for you, you can go ahead and legato tongue that. That works out just fine too. But now that we can do it at 60, let's try to play it at 80, make it a little bit tougher on ourselves. And now that we have it going really well at 80, let's try doing it at 100. And finally, as fast as we're going to go in this video today, let's try it at 120. Now, most of the time when you see the AllState pattern written out, it's actually not going to be in half note and quarter notes. You're going to see it written out in quarter and eighth notes. So we're going to work on playing our AllState pattern in that way, just to get used to that rhythmic pattern. Now, that 120 that we were doing earlier, if I cut it in half, it becomes 60. And so we can play our scale in a way that sounds very familiar to us at that 120. We're going to be playing it in the same way, just thinking about it in a different rhythmic pattern. Let's go ahead and try to sing that though, just to get used to the new rhythmic pattern and how fast we're going to be moving with that. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, A, G, F, E flat, D, C, B flat, D, F, B flat, F, D, B flat. Great, so now that we can sing it and we understand how this new rhythmic pattern is going to work out, let's try playing it now. Quarter note equals 60, AllState pattern, but quarter and eighth notes this time. Fantastic. So keep working on it and making it sound even better. Good luck on practicing all of your scales and getting them all memorized. And thank you so much for practicing your B flat scale with me today.